Hey everybody, we're live.
Hey everyone, back to Thursday. It feels like a long time since last week for some reason.
Yeah, it seems like forever ago. We need to have Thanksgiving again already.
I guess Christmas is coming up. With that, we have something that's on my Christmas list that we're about to talk about here today. But before we get to that, yeah, I want a battery. Why are you giving me that look? Spoiler alert. But, before we get to that, there's a lot of things changing with ice conditions and stuff lately. So,
yeah.
I know up in Minnesota, they have ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've been watching the College of Ice with Brian Brosdahl and Steve Panas, Brosdahl's been pretty much bragging that he's been ice fishing.
Well, and did he say that he had 7 or 8 inches in one spot that he found? It's like,
yeah,
that
and
is
Red
crazy.
Lake's been crazy. We know a couple of people have been up there, and it's just a zoo. And but anything, halfway through the state south, kind of nothing.
Well, and with that being said, I think that there's a lot of people really antsy for ice. And, I went out and I checked yesterday. Yeah, I went out and I checked yesterday and I found a spot that I was pretty convinced might have a few inches there.
Good.
I was just driving kind of after work and I had stopped at a little place and I had looked around and I saw a few spud bar hits. And then I tried to bring an auger back yesterday, but
Today.
It was like, today.
Yeah.
There's a boat ramp that just stays out all year. And I tried to drill a hole at the end of it. And what I was certain yesterday was a few inches is today down to like an inch of slush.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Good thing is that all you people throwing rocks out onto the water, all those rocks will sink in. And so I won't hit them with my nice razor auger.
Well, and I was going to say that, first of all, those rocks are on the shore for a reason. It is part of either the natural environment that, the natural critters and stuff need to live. And if it is something that is actually placed there, then that's something that's helping to keep a shoreline stable or keep a boat launch from being torn up by boats or anything like that. So,
yeah.
It seems like a really easy option to toss a rock out there, but like Josh is saying, you don't want to hit it with your auger.
Well, and it doesn't really do anything. Honestly, you're not throwing a rock out there, even something that's 3-4 pounds. How is that going to compare to something? Some of you guys are 100 pounds. I'm not. I'm like 3 times that. But it's still not going to hold you if it holds that rock. So just don't do it. Use a spud bar. Be safe. Wear your float suit. Bring a buddy. All of those things are acceptable. Rocks, no.
Anyways, like rant over. And I think part of that is, we are all just so excited for ice. So I'm seeing people catching fish and I have not had that luxury yet.
So who are we talking to?
So will you tell me?
No, you tell me.
Amped Batteries, Matt Lardinois. So we're here. Can't wait to hear about your batteries. So tell us about you and Amped Outdoors.
Hey, thank you. Yes, it's Matt with Amped Outdoors, and we've got a lot of batteries in front of us here, more than last year. So hopefully we can take a look at some of these. And I know when we hear the terminology of lithium, it can be Greek to a lot of people, and we can hopefully help clarify some things on how to upgrade into lithium technology that I know a lot of you are looking to do if you have not already. But Amped Outdoors, we're based out of Hudson, Wisconsin, and it's our 4th season in ice. So we're happy to be here 4 years later and growing at the pace that we are to be able to offer this type of solution to you, the customer, and really just help enhance that experience that you have out in the water, whether it's ice or, we're really big in open water as well, as, there's a lot of power needs when you're out and about, and not just water. I mean, anything outdoors. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on stuff like that, let me know, because this is just not a 4 month out of the year ice fishing product. This is something that can be used year round. And there's a lot of good uses for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We use ours with our power boxes with our camera on the boat, and so it's just a great tool to have that portability and have being that they're so light and everything, it's just nice to be able to bring that with and not just have it for whatever 3 months.
Yep.
While we're here chatting, and I'm actually seeing, quite a few people that are chatting in the comments as well. So, chat away, by all means, whether it's on topic or not. But if you do have questions, slip that in, because even kind of as we're talking, that is something that we will read and we will try to answer as we go. And so, if we're talking about different products or different things or different topics, let us know what you want to know.
Yeah.
With that being said, you were kind of talking about all the different applications, and one of the things that I've noticed is that you've really expanded your line. Like you said, 4th ice season, but you've really expanded your line to accommodate all the different needs of the angler, like you're saying, ice and beyond. So tell us maybe about what is like a favorite that you have out in front of you.
Yeah, a lot of favorites. It really depends on your application, because, if it was a one-size-fits-all, there'd only be one battery. And that's really how lithium got started in this industry. In fact, ice fishing was one of the first outdoors industries to really adapt lithium technologies in use with components. So you often saw lithium, it in like your laptop, it in your drill, and other components you have around your house, and it's becoming more popular. But just in the last 6 to 8 years, you started seeing it being introduced into the industry, but there's really only been one option available. So what we decided, this was 6 years ago when we started developing and engineering our products, is that you could do more. There's so many different applications, and you can make them in different sizes and make it more than just a one size fits all. So I've got a lot of favorites on the table. Your traditional size batteries, a lot of you guys have seen, you've got that in everything. But now we've got Garmin, they use a larger battery, and let's just face it, all of our electronics today and our needs out on the ice, there's just more power required. If you have a Garmin Live Scope, that thing draws 10 times the power of a Vexilar, if not more. And you really got to have, you don't want to be carrying around, 20 or 30 batteries with you just get through a weekend. It's nice to have different options available based on how you fish. So that's kind of what we did, is that we have a battery solution for everybody. If you're the person who, kind of like me, I like to charge every night. So I like a lightweight battery. We have that available. And then we have the battery you can put into your unit that can get up to 100 hours of operation. And because there's that person who just doesn't like to charge their equipment all the time. You're going to be going on a week-long trip, where you're not going to have access to power, and things like that. So there's a solution for everybody out there, really depending on what you're doing.
Well, and you're talking about, or you said somewhere in there, you might choose one because you like it light. But Josh had last season actually put an amp battery in my Vexilar, mm-hmm. and I actually did not know that he did that. And we got all the way out to the ice, and I picked my Vexilar up. It was in the case, and I literally did not even take a minute to look. I got upset with him. This sounds like a joke, and it's real life. I was like, Josh, did you not put the battery in this? We got all the way here with a Vexilar with no battery. How ridiculous is this? And he's like, just try it. And lo and behold, the battery was in there. And I mean, really, that sounds silly, but it's what really happened. And the battery made such a difference, versus just a similar size battery.
Yeah,
that was different.
Yeah, so that's one thing I kind of missed about shows this year, although we got to do one, is handing somebody a lithium battery for the first time. So you're used to that 5 to 6 pound, really heavy battery, and you give them this and it's 1.5 pounds, and they go, oh my gosh, except for they don't usually say, oh my gosh. It's something else, but yeah, it's an incredible difference in weight. And you talk about carrying around your Vexilar. This is real lightweight. Two fingers, hold that up, but it's a 6 amp hour battery. It weighs 1.5 pounds in a Vexilar. It takes your Vexilar with the lead acid battery in it is 9 pounds. You put this in it, it's 5 pounds. And if you're the hole hopper where you're going to hit 100, 200 holes in a day, it makes a big difference. Or you're going out on early ice and you just want to lighten your load. It really does make a big difference carrying that lighter battery in it. In fact, a small battery like that, even though it is 6 amp hour, a lot of times people kind of get, that's smaller than the 9 amp hour that came with my Vexilar. Well, honestly, it actually gives you longer operating time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a little different subject, but, lead acid batteries are, 9 amp hour is most common. So everybody has a bunch of those sitting around your house. They're only about 50 to, if you get a really good one, up to 80% efficient, where our batteries are 100% efficient. So that 9 amp hour battery may only give you 5 amp hours of usable power or usable capacity. And with a 6 amp hour battery like this, you're going to get a true 6 hour capacity. So typically you'll get 20% longer operating times in a 6 amp hour lithium battery versus a 9 amp hour steel lead acid battery. So I know a lot of times people will want to get a bigger battery. But it's not always the case. This is actually, I think, one of the most underrated batteries that we sell. If you have a traditional flasher, if you look at 24 hours of operation, like Vexilar low power mode up to 40, I can go an entire weekend usually, and for me, a weekend's not too long, usually like 2 days, and never have to worry about running out of power in a Vexilar with a 6 amp hour battery.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some questions in the comments, and I know it shows it's the question that always comes up. It's not about bashing anybody else or any other system, but everybody loves Amped Outdoors. You hear people rave about them, about you. So what is it that people love? What makes the batteries unique?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things that make, us unique versus others. And, the first thing that really makes us unique is the fact that we have this assortment. So we're the first to really bring all the new technologies to the market and really advance the batteries in our industry. So we're there's 10 amp hour battery and like everybody has one or had one in lithium. We're the first ones to take that same size battery and go to a 12 amp hour. This year we took the same size battery. Now we have a 19 amp hour. We were the first ones to release a battery specifically made for Garmin last year, the 18 amp hour battery. This year we have 4 batteries specifically to fit in a Garmin case, an 18 amp hour, a 32 amp hour, a 30 amp hour, and then a 48 amp hour, a giant battery. So we're the first to really bring this to market. The other thing that really separates us is just the customer support. It's one thing we pride ourselves on, and what we build, it's our backbone. You have a question, get a hold of us. We're gonna get to you and hopefully take care of those. Take care of your need immediately. And shipping. Whether it's you're buying from us or from one of our retailers, it's making sure that product's in stock, is available, and then shipped to you quick. We'll get that often. Where I thought that was my dog at first. I'm like, what is he doing outside?
It's the attack hound.
Where we ship here in the Midwest, and typically it's like 1 or 2 day transit time shipping ground, and we like to ship same day if not next day. So we try to be urgent, take care of everybody's needs, answer your questions, and just provide a product out there that is built to last and really stand the test of time. So I think that's really kind of what set us apart and what's helped us grow so quickly, is being able to come up with this type of solution and find everybody a need.
Well, and I was kind of laughing to myself when you're talking about kind of fast shipping and all of that, because, when is it that somebody buys their battery is like when they find out that their old one is dead or doesn't work or is too heavy.
Yep.
And, you hate that moment when you're like packing for a trip or you're like, driving somewhere for ice because it's not where you live and you're trying to find it. You'd hate to pull all that out and Shaq's ready to go. Pole is ready to go.
Yeah.
Battery does not want to go.
Nope. And that's one thing. If you've got a lead acid battery, what do you guys get out of a lead acid battery? For me, it was like a year or two. So there's some people who have gotten multiple 5 to 9 years out of a lead acid battery. That's typically somebody who really maintains and takes care of their product. A lot of us end of season, sometimes you just throw your stuff in a corner and you kind of forget about it. And that's when you come back next season, it doesn't work. So it's usually this time of year, the first time you go out and that battery's dead. So one thing I recommend, if you have a lead acid battery, go and check it, just make sure it takes a proper charge and make sure it's going to last. Because the worst the worst thing to have is to go out in the ice, especially your first time. You're all excited, and then you're out there for half an hour, and your flasher shuts off. So,
Yeah.
that's just one of the advantages of this technology, where you might replace your lead acid battery 5 or 6 times before you ever have to replace the lithium, and a lot of that is just due to how these work. So they're built to get 1,000 to 2,000 charge cycles, even more than that. And for us in 10 years, you're never going to charge your battery 1,000 to 2,000 times. But is to say your lead acid batteries are made to last about 400 charges. Well, I don't think I've ever even gotten that out of one. But with something like this, you can't overcharge a lithium battery. You can't discharge it too low, and that's one of the biggest killers of batteries out there. Is like with lead acid, you're discharging that to a low voltage that's causing harm, and that's why they wear out so quickly. Where lithium batteries have what's called a built-in battery management system, so that'll prevent you from making an error, discharging it too low, or overcharging it by connecting the wrong charger, or trying to do something with it you're not supposed to. I've had people that have done that where they've taken a small battery and they try to connect it to like an electronic winch, and the battery will just shut down because you're trying to draw too much power. That would damage a battery. Our battery would just shut down and won't let you use it. So, they're made specifically for fishing electronics, and now they're low power, charging your phone, accessories, lights, and stuff like that. So that's built into this battery technology. They don't lose charge over time too. So that's why you often find it at the beginning of the season, you go out and your battery's dead. Well, it's because during the off season, it just sat and it drained, and that's what killed it. With these, they don't discharge like your lead acid batteries do. So I could charge this, put it on the shelf, 3 weeks later, go put it in my fish finder. It's still going to stay 100%.
Is that what you recommend, putting it away at 100%, or what's your storage recommendation?
So it depends on what you do. So technically, the best thing with lithium is to charge it before maybe before you go to use it, right? And then if you're going to store it for a long period of time, it's good to not store it dead, and it's good not to store it at 100%. So all the research out there really shows, and everyone's got a different percentage, but I say store it between like 40 and 70% if you can. It's like, well, how do you know if it's 40 to 70%? Well, you take it out, use it, throw it on the charger for an hour. Just don't store it dead. And it's always good not to store it 100% charged. And these batteries, you don't have to put like a trickle charger on them when you're not using them. Keeping a lithium battery at 100% can cause premature wear. It's not as big of a deal because most of our batteries are higher end lithium iron phosphate, so it's not going to harm them like a lot of other lithiums. But it's just a rule of thumb to make your battery last longer. Not store it at 100, not store it completely dead.
So I'm the kind of person that loves the end of ice season and always gets out until I can't. So what do I do when it's on the charger and then I realize that there's down to 2 inches and I can't get out there, and then I'm left with the battery at 100? Do I need to feel guilty about that?
No. I mean, you could do things to, I use all my batteries year round. I know a lot of people do. Take them out in your kayak, hook some lights up to it. That's definitely not going to kill it by doing that. It's better than storing it dead. And there are a lot of people that do that, and you may never notice something. It's just a rule of thumb on any lithium battery out there. Even on your drills, when you have them plugged in, like I probably have a drill battery sitting behind me that's been sitting on the charger for like 2 months because I haven't used it. It's just something that can cause premature wear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you get techie and geeky on it, but for most people, they'll charge them, throw them on the shelf for the season, go back next season, and it works just fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
As far as a few other questions that we had in the comments, there was people asking about options for the boat. So certainly it depends a lot on, what you're using it out on the boat for. But as far as like your bigger boat battery options, I mean, that's all on your website, or can you tell us a little bit about it now?
Yeah, for us, it's kind of seasonal. We didn't intend it to be kind of seasonal, but we just blew up demand-wise this last summer. Everybody was outdoors on their boats and spending time in the water, which is great. And usually we carry our larger batteries all year round, and we usually slow down a little bit this time of year so we can stock up on the core ice products. But yeah, we blew through them pretty quick early this year, but we're going to have a new release, probably going to be in mid-January. We're going to have a full lineup of products out. So whether it's you're powering your electronics in your boat, because I'm selling a ton of, the larger batteries for that. People have 2 or 3 Garmins and they have them connected to their starter battery and they use it all day and then they go to start their motor and the motor's dead. So they buy a dedicated battery just for powering their electronics. And then we do have the larger trolling motor batteries, whether it's a kayak or a boat. We have batteries that can replace your standard AGM and steel lead acid batteries. And they are incredibly lightweight. What would normally be 60, 80 pound battery, you could get 20 to 50% more capacity out of our 25 pound battery. So, there are professional anglers who will save 200 to 250 pounds in their boat. It's like losing their their co-angler in their boat, and they get an extra 3 to 4 miles an hour in their boat, top end. It's just incredible.
Well, and that's something to be said about ice fishing too, because the big thing is talking about how to lose weight in your augers. But there's something, an auger is something that you're constantly beating on, and it's constantly getting, jammed into the ice or falling off of sleds and this and that. Batteries are static. They sit in their little compartment. They don't move around a whole lot. You're literally carrying around rocks with you, basically. Mm-hmm. And so this is probably a better place to start as far as weight management goes on and off the ice too, in that same regard.
Yep, absolutely. So incredibly lightweight. Like I was saying, the 9 pounds of a standard Vexilar versus 5 pounds when you put in a lithium battery. And I mean, you look at Vexilar batteries, we have that 6 amp hour. We also have a 12 amp hour. So you're looking like 50 to 80 hours in a Vexilar. And then we have our new 19 amp hour battery, literally, still under 4 pounds. Should say under 3 pounds. In 19 amp hours. I mean, that's like 90 hours in a Vexilar.
Yeah.
Honestly, all you need in a Vex or, a Humming, anything that's a flasher, whether it's Markham, Vexilar, Hummingbird, flasher, 6 amp hour battery is what I typically recommend. You're going for more than a weekend, get into that 12 amp hour. You want to go a week, get into that 19. But with the 12 and 19 amp hour batteries, which are same size, still half the weight of your traditional lead acid battery, your digital graphs, your Hummingbird, your Helix units, anything with a digital screen on it, they draw a lot of power. That's where like the 12 amp hour and the 19 amp hour batteries come in handy and are good replacements. And they're always, no matter what battery you get, you're always going to save at least half the weight. Even with Garmin, like Garmin's battery is like 8 pounds. Well, I can give you a battery that lasts twice as long, that weighs 4 pounds. And then I can get you one that'll, Garmin battery, usually maybe 5 or 6 hours if you're using live scope. I mean, I've got the new 48 amp hour battery that'll get you for 39 hours of operation. So
wow.
It's huge. And it's still lighter than your Garmin stock battery. So the best way to really, find out what battery which battery you should get. Now look at weight, obviously. But we've got this chart on our website. I don't know how well you can see it on there. This is huge, but we've got this chart on our website, and it's going to list like all the different graphs, and it's got all the different batteries on it. But anyway, it's pretty easy. Anything that's in green will fit the unit that you have, and it'll tell you how much operating time you should expect with each battery that we have. So, if you're unsure of which one to get, look at our website. We have that on the main page where you can see the operating time chart with each battery, and then it'll be highlighted in green if it actually fits your unit or not. So they'll help you determine what to get. And so that's a great tool. Otherwise, I mean, you can always reach out to us. We've got, online support, whether it's, you send us something through Facebook Messenger, email, phone call. We're always here to help out and make sure that you get the right product the first time. I always hate when somebody gets something and they have to return it or exchange it because they got the wrong size. And it's like, I wish we could have done something better for that person. But yeah, we're always here to make it right.
Cool.
Yeah.
And remind us, what is your webpage?
So simple, ampedoutdoors.com. So yep. And so just so you know, all of our stuff is on there. So ampedoutdoors.com, and then Amped Outdoors LLC on Facebook and Instagram. as we're pretty active there. We just started a YouTube page with some videos on it. But we'll have content, frequently asked questions and all that on our website. Also, like that chart that I had, if you go into like Shields, really any of our Shields, Thorn Bros are, two of the big retailers that we're in, but there are a lot of retailers that carry our products. So if you want to stop in someplace to see something, we have a list of retailers. There's a link on the bottom of our website that'll show you a list of retailers so you can find somebody in the area if you want to go and actually feel like how heavy they are and see the size of the battery. And the staff there are, any other locations that have our products are well trained. They have that operating time chart that I just showed, and they'll make sure you get into the right product.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I definitely would recommend that people do get their hands on one of them, or even, I hate to say, but I bet even one of your friends already has one. Go and even look at theirs, because truly, like we're saying, the weight is just a drastic reduction from what you're used to. And like we're saying, it's crazy to not have shows. And that right there is where you kind of feel the impact of all of this. Then you get on the ice and then you realize how long your graph lasts compared to your other friend that doesn't have an amp battery. Nick Anderson, if you're watching, I remember your graph dying that day. You need an amp battery. But seriously, check out the website. Like you're saying, YouTube, I saw a link even posted in the comments, I think, your Facebook page. Lots of people are talking about it, and great customer service. So definitely reach out to Matt or Amped or even us, and let us know the fun ways that you're using the battery too. I'm interested in, other than my Vexlar, what I should hook it up to. So
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of uses outside of just your Vexlar and your graph. I mean, you got to have ways to power your phone. I mean, if you don't have a power box already, make one, get one. I mean, there's so many options out there for power boxes. They're so cool. I have mine actually sitting right over here, right next to me, charging my phone. Got the built-in Bluetooth speaker, so I have sound on the ice. Yep. So I've got that, and then you use them for powering your shack lights. It takes a couple extra pounds off your shack, and there's just so many different applications for them.
Here I thought I was like summing up, and there's actually a really great question that just popped in, something that I forgot that I wanted to cover. Do you have to have a lithium charger for the lithium battery? And that is something that's also you can find on your website. Yeah,
it is. It's one of our most common questions outside of which battery should I get for a Helix? And it's like question number 2. But so lead acid battery chargers, there's so many variances out there, and some are better than others. A lot of them do charge a lithium battery, but the lead acid battery chargers are only 13.5 volts, and ours are 14.4. It's a higher voltage, so it will put a little better charge on the battery. Our chargers are also much faster. So instead of taking 12 hours to charge, it's only going to take about 3 to 4 hours to charge. So you get that faster charge rate. And, some things out there, there are some lead acid battery chargers that won't even recognize a lithium battery until it's like at like 30% or lower in capacity. So I don't want to name the brand, but I mean, you take it out, you take your lithium battery out, using it for an entire day, come back and plug your charger up to the battery, and it won't even put a charge on it. It thinks it's still fully charged, because the lithium batteries have that higher, slightly higher voltage, and they're just so much more efficient. It literally thinks the battery's charged. So, there's that. We sell the chargers at a pretty cheap price. And once you have one lithium battery charger, they'll pretty much work on all the other lithiums that you're buying. So if you end up getting a couple down the road, you only really need that one. But it's definitely recommended, for the overall performance of the battery, as well as it's just hassle-free. 99% of the people who come to us thinking they have a bad battery, it's charger-related. And it's usually that they're using the wrong type of charging technology on it. So pretty easy one to fix.
So we did get a question from Jake here. Do you need one of your chargers to reset the BMS? Like, does your charger do something specifically different than the other? I mean, other than what you've said?
Yeah, that is one other thing. So when the batteries die, they shut off, right? So when they hit 10 volts, they shut down. So you're getting full use. It's not like all of a sudden you start to see it really, really slow down, or that your light getting really, really dim, and then all of a sudden it goes out. They will just shut off. And at that point, the battery reads 0 volts. So it won't allow you to actually pull more power out of that battery, because if you pull more power out of it, you risk damaging it. So when you connect our charger, it resets it. It resets the battery management system to take a charge. A lot of lead acid battery chargers will reset, but there are a lot of them out there, even ones that are lithium chargers that are not made for one with the battery management system, that do not reset it. They're technically like smart chargers, and they think that battery is damaged because it's reading 0 volts, so it's not going to try and charge it. So that's why the easiest thing I say is just get one of our chargers, and it's not, you're never going to have to worry about resetting a battery management system or knowing if your battery is truly charged or not. At $20, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and like you said, even if you have multiple batteries, you probably only need that one cord because, especially with them charging quickly, I mean, they're just efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So, but probably get 2 because my cat might chew it up. Awesome. So it looks like definitely even the people who had the comments, that helped them. I know certainly the people at home, and after we share this, that's going to help them. And to be honest, that was one of my goals of the episode here is I think a lot of people don't know much about batteries. They don't even know what they don't know. So, to get some of this information out there really, really is going to get people on the right foot when they're going to hit the ice.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's not only people watching, but us too. This is very informative. We know a little bit, but this is great. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And if anybody's got any questions on it, reach out to us. We're a resource to you. We'll get you paired up with the right technology. We're not going to oversell you. Like I said, my most commonly recommended battery is the $55 battery, especially for us flasher users. But if you have any ideas or just I don't know, any way we can improve our product or would like to see something different. Most of what we have out here are ideas from our customers. We take their feedback and we try to develop something to really meet the needs of everybody. So we always appreciate that type of feedback. So yeah, definitely throw it at us.
Oh yeah, you could. We're laughing at you, Jim. So no matter where you're watching or where you're taking your batteries to.
Well, you could technically, they are, just so you do know, now they cannot be submerged in water, but they are, they're weather, they could take splash rain, slush, snow. So yeah, you could technically take it in your shower and be fine.
You never know. Sometimes there's a lot of slush out there. Well, this has been very informative.
Yeah, thanks, man. We don't want to keep you too long, but thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. We'll talk to everybody soon and hopefully see you soon on the ice.
See you later, Matt.
Yeah, stay safe.
All right, that was good.
That was definitely good. I have to admit I'm far from a battery expert. And I know a little bit more about the fishing side. And so to be able to kind of connect those two things and see how that battery life can really affect my fishing life.
Absolutely.
That's a huge key.
Yeah. So since we're on the learning train, next week we're going to learn about fishing rods.
Oh, yeah, that's actually true. Actually, that's really funny talking about things that I don't know if people know enough about. There's a lot of fishing rods out there. And, to be the person who's, whether you're a seasoned angler or you're brand new to the sport, going especially to a store and trying to pick out something can be very daunting. Or God forbid you want to buy a gift for somebody, where do you start? So,
right.
We're going to do a really brief cover of kind of rods and how they work and why they work. So, the different actions and the different types of rods and the use. So we are going to actually be with JT Rods, and we are going to have a really great episode.
Yeah, I think we're going to chat a little bit about just the just some rod building stuff, actions, powers, lengths, uses for different types of rods, all kinds of stuff next week. So it should be a fun one. Definitely running into towards Christmas. So
yeah, so make those lists and get everything on it that you want so you're prepared for ice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night.
See you out there.
Thanks for watching.